ChatGPT also has the capacity to browse the web. So if you want to browse the web with ChatGPT, you just need to use this button right here, which is search the web. And you can search the web for anything. So in this case, let's say, for example, I want to check Tesla stock price. So I'm going to say check Tesla stock price, right, for today. And so if I go ahead and hit submit, it's going to proceed on to generate that, right? So it's going to check for Tesla stock price, and it's going to check more information. Plus, it is going to also provide us with more in-depth information and sources of where it got the information in the first place. All right, so right now it's actually checking Tesla's stock price. And not just that, because of the ability or advanced data analytics, it not only showed us Tesla's stock for today, but it showed us the stock for the entire day or through the entire day. So basically, I think it was between 360 and then stabilized at 337 mean of 338.59. And so here it's giving us more information, right? So as of November 25, 2024, Tesla Incorporation stock closed at 338.59, down 13.73. So if someone purchased this stock, and I'm not a big stock expert, but assuming you purchased at 930 at this price, you would have sold it at a lower price. So the stock price has actually decreased during today. And so here you see that there are more information, and this is also the sources as to where it got the information that you can click. This is more reminiscent of Perplexity AI, which is another large language model that competes against ChatGPT by OpenAI. And you can see that the information is directly from the internet, from the web. So you don't have to go and do it yourself. By the way, I must point out that ChatGPT is competing against many other large language models, and one of them is Google Gemini. Google Gemini is basically a tool by Google, right? So it's also a large language model, and it pretty much does the same things that ChatGPT, with some exceptions, all right? ChatGPT is much more advanced, and let's just say that you can use it. It's more powerful, all right? Now, also here, if you click on the settings option or on the tab here, you can see that you have access to these Get to ChatGPT search extension, which if you click, it takes you to the Google Chrome store. And from here, you can actually install this as an extension, which would enable you to search the web with ChatGPT directly, which, by the way, I would not really recommend. I would probably recommend that you use the version of the ChatGPT here instead of using that extension, even though some people might like it. That's why we have shown it. Now, basically here, if you want to exit this option to search the web, you can exit. And at any point in time, if you want to delete a chat, you have to go to that particular chat and you can be able to delete it. Now, in any case, if you, let's just say, don't want to delete it, maybe you just want to rename it, you can just click on the options and you can click rename. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to name this Tesla stock price, all right? Tesla stock price. Let's say that you want to keep an eye on Tesla stock prices. Now, you could keep it in a chat called Tesla stock prices. If you want to start a new chat, which is what we're going to do right now, you can just click on the button, new chat, in which case it's going to start a completely new chat. Now here, you can upload things. So if you have a file, you can click attach a file. You can either directly upload from your computer by clicking on this or connecting to your OneDrive, in which case if you have some files over there, you can call to these files anytime you want and use them inside of ChatGPT. You can also connect it to Google Drive by Google, which is also another great option. Now, in my case, I'm not going to do any of those. I can actually just go ahead to my recent downloads and drag and drop from them. But in this case, I see that even that is not possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and click upload, and I can upload images, spreadsheets, PDFs, Word documents. So I have this Principles of Finance PDF, which is a 650-page book. Now, let's say that you want to speed read the book and you don't really have the time to read the entire book, or probably you want to summarize the books into 10 key points. Now, we can easily do that by just saying, summarize, right? Summarize the book in 10 bullets. And so right now, all I need to do is wait until the entire file has been uploaded, because you have to realize that this is a 560-page book. It's a large, large finance book. And so therefore, as you can see, the wheel is spinning. It's taking some time for it to upload the book. It won't upload the book directly, okay? So it's taking the time. And once it has been uploaded, you will be able to click this button that basically will run the job. Otherwise, you'll see the file upload pending option. Now I can just click because it has been uploaded. So if I click, it's going to read the documents. It's not going to take that much time. And by the way, in this case, I'm using GPT-4o. So I've switched from GPT-4o to 4o mini to GPT-4o. There is a difference. I like to work with GPT-4o mini because it's better, but this one is also pretty nice. Now, as you can see, it's saying here's a summary of Principal Finance book in 10 bullet points, but I'm not going to read through this because I don't want to make the course large just by reading content from ChatGPT. But what I want to showcase is ChatGPT's ability to read this to you in case you want it to read it for you. So if I click right here on this button below that says read aloud, it will go ahead and it will read the text. So let me click it for a second.
Here is a summary of the Principles of Finance book in 10 bullet points. 1. Introduction to Finance covers the fundamental principles of finance, the role of finance in organizations, and the importance of data and technology in financial decision-making. 2. Corporate Governance discusses business structures, shareholder management relationships, board responsibilities, and agency issues in corporate governance. 3. Economic Foundations explains microeconomic and macroeconomic principles, business cycles, interest rates, and foreign exchange as key elements influencing financial decisions. 4. Financial Statements details how income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements, and financial ratios assess a firm's financial health. 5. Time Value of Money, TVM, explores TVM.
So I want to pause it right there because, we're not going to read everything. And here, notice that you can switch between models. So if you want to switch back and forth between these models right here, you can switch between them. And if you want to switch to 4o mini, you can switch to 4o mini, in which case it's going to regenerate a different response this time, but not using GPT-4o is going to use GPT-4o mini. And you can see the difference in the response is pretty apparent. Now, if you'd like to copy this, you can click copy from here, and then you can go to a file like this one, for instance. Let me just go and clean it up. If I click to paste this, it's going to immediately paste everything that I copied from there. Now, one of the other options is to like a response or dislike a response. In any case, if you like a response, you're programming ChatGPT to understand that you're liking the output, okay? So it understands that you are satisfied. Now, in any case, let's say you want to copy just a part of the text. You can isolate that part and you can double click on it and you can right click to copy it if you want to copy just a portion of it, not the entirety. Now, one other thing is that if you'd like ChatGPT to generate a PDF Word document for you with this information inside of that PDF or document, you can do it. Now, in this case, let's say, for example, I say, so what I've just written is generate a Word doc link and put the previous response inside it and give me the link to download. So if I click right now, what it's going to do, and this is really amazing, it's going to generate a document for you. So it's going to take that response and put it in a document. So think of it this way. Whether you're writing an outline for a book or 10 emails that you have written, you can organize that in files without having to copy paste them yourself. It can actually go ahead and do it for you. And so this is the direct download button. If I actually click it, it's going to download it, right? So if I were to just go ahead right here in my list of downloads, and I will be able to see that there it is. This is the file and it's opening it right now as we speak. And so you can see that this is really an interesting feature inside of it. It has put all the information together in a file for you. If you want it to be a PDF, it can be. If you want it to be a, let's just say Excel spreadsheet, it can be. So let's say, for example, let's say you want to generate an Excel spreadsheet with a comparison between Tesla's stock price this week and its competitors in China. So if I just switch to the search the web feature, which is what I should do, if I click right here, it's going to utilize both features, the searching the web feature to search the internet, find me the information, plus it's going to use advanced data analytics feature, which we're going to explore in a second. Now, if I click download stock price comparison, it should go ahead and work. But in this case, as you can see, it says file not found. And that is mainly because the file doesn't work. So in case the file doesn't work, you can say the file doesn't work. And I said, give me a link to download the file that actually works. So I'm going to unswitch the search the web feature because there's no need for it anymore. And I'm just going to type enter or hit enter so that it can proceed to start the analyses and basically just go ahead and give us the output that we desire. All right, so this time I've clicked it and it works. And so some of the times, not every time, but there are some inconsistencies. And so sometimes ChatGPT might not work according to plan. So you need to just use a bit of prompts. And so in this case, we have the Tesla stock price and its competitors. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let me activate notifications here and let's just go ahead full screen so that we can see all this information, in place. ChatGPT is that you can drag and drop things to it, all right? Whether that be from your desktop as well as from the downloads, or you can just simply click upload to do it old fashioned. Now I'm going to click the enter button and right now it's going to submit. And based on this data, which it reads, it's going to proceed on to generate using advanced data analysis feature. It's going to generate a diagram for us, all right? Now a chart is one of the best ways to actually see data. And so therefore it actually went ahead and generated this chart for us, right? Tesla versus Chinese competitors. And you can see here the Tesla stock price versus some other competitors. I'm not so sure as to the accuracy of such data. And you can also basically download this particular image, which is the image of the diagram, right? So there it is. I can just download it as a PNG. And if you just click it, you will be able to open it and maybe zoom in on it a little bit and analyze the data. So I really hope you're beginning to see the possibilities here because there's just a lot of possibilities. Now, what about ChatGPT's ability to generate images? Now, let's say, for example, that you're going to create a competitor company to Tesla and you want a logo, right? You want it to generate a logo for you. Now, let's just go ahead and ask it so. So my question is, I am creating a competitor company to Tesla. Generate the best logo for me. Now, notice I wasn't detailed, which we're going to come to it in a lecture about prompt engineering and the six prompt engineering strategies by OpenAI, which recommend that you be detailed. In this case, I wasn't detailed because we're just experimenting. But normally, you have to give it the brand name. Otherwise, it's going to come up with a brand name from its imagination, or it's probably not really going to generate any name whatsoever in your logo. And watch this. This is a perfect logo. Now, of course, it has some of the Tesla elements, which could be a problem for copyright. So you might ask it to, avoid copyright issues and hit generate again. So now it's basically going to understand that, it may have not been compliant to copyright because I see a part of the Tesla logo in this logo. And so what I'm going to ask it, I'm going to say regenerate, right? Regenerate. Right. So it's going to go ahead and understand, okay, so you want me to regenerate a logo that doesn't infringe upon Tesla copyright. Only, I don't know how this logo is going to turn out. So it may turn out not to be so good as the old one. And so in this case, you see that it has generated a different one, which doesn't really look anything like the other. But you can see that it went ahead and generated an image. So it is capable of generating images. I have to point out that only the models GPT-4 models, right, with number 4 in them are capable of generating images. And if I switch to a new chat right now, if you ask the other models such as O1 Mini to generate logos, it won't be able to. Plus, it is not able to attach files and it is not able to search the web. All these models that are not 4 models, right, with the number 4, they're not able to do most of that stuff. Now, there's this temporary chat option, in which case, if you're only going to have a chat that is temporary, you switch it on. This way, this chat is not saved. And once you're done with the chat, you're done with the chat. It's not going to be saved, and it's not going to take space in the memory. Now, you have to also realize that ChatGPT has a memory. In this case, it's telling me that my ChatGPT memory is full. So I have to go ahead and forget some existing memories. And what does that mean? ChatGPT has memory, so it keeps track of every chat that you have in order to remain consistent anytime you open one of those chats. So it keeps memories of older messages, and it acts more like a human that way. It has a memory, which is really beautiful, because you don't want to program ChatGPT about something a week, and then later on find out that it forgot about everything you've programmed it to do. So you can program it. It has a memory. It's not unlimited, right? Just like human mind is not unlimited, but there is a memory, which is really good. And once you hit a certain memory peak, ChatGPT is going to tell you that you have to delete some memory. Now, you could close the sidebar like this and basically just go back. You can clear the chat if you want to clear the chat in case you have a chat that is full and you want to clear it. You can clear it. You can also search between your chats by just searching between the chats, right? You can type stuff or just look by toggling back and forth. And you can unswitch, or you can switch this to normal to go back to a normal chat. And I'm going to go back to GPT-4o Mini. Now let's explore the settings real quick. Now, if you go to the settings option, first of all, notice that I have a plan, which is a paid plan. It's $25 per month, I guess. And basically that allows me to use every single ChatGPT feature for an unlimited amount of time. Now, in the settings option, you will see some settings. So language is set to auto detect, but if your language is French and you only talk French and you only want answers in French, then you can just come over here and set it up to that language or any other language for that matter. Now, also realize that you can prompt ChatGPT to get basically, you give it prompts in English and to answer you in Spanish if you want to, but you have to tell it that at the very beginning, right? You have to say, I'm going to give you prompts in English and all responses should be in Spanish. And it's going to basically go and do that. And that's called priming ChatGPT. Now, in case you want to delete all your chats, you can delete them. If you want to access your archived chats, you can. In the speech option, if you want to change the voiceover of the person that is talking to you, reading aloud, and the one that you're talking to you on the app and also on the browser, you can switch between these voices. And language, I'd like to keep it at auto detect. Now, as far as the other options, I don't really see anything other than the builder profile, which I'd like to show you, because this one is important. In order for you to create what we call GPTs, we're only going to create one GPT in this course, which is an email writer. And so that pretty much sums up this video about ChatGPT. And this was the largest one by far. And I'll see you in the next ones, in which they're going to be shorter and to the point, and they're going to give you the value. But obviously, we had to make this lecture like this so that you master the platform. Now you can say that you've mastered the platform and you can work easily for the rest of the course. So I wish you the best, and we'll see you in the next video.